Well, I really appreciate you guys coming out today. This is a little bit different press conference, I guess you would say, than normal. We had on the 10th of February of this year, our office responded to the scene of 2 overdose victims located at 345 Bryant Road. Narcotics investigators are also requested by uniformed patrol deputies to respond to the scene because it looked like an overdose. I'll shorten it down a little bit for you. Our investigators did a wonderful job by looking back at all the affiliates and all the things that we could prove, and we came up with a suspect that had sold this lady some heroin that was apparently laced with fentanyl. The person I'm fixing to show you that was arrested on April 14th on an unrelated case for trafficking methamphetamine and possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine, and has remained incarcerated since then. This is the lady that this is Brittany Nicole Cash. This is the lady that we charged with the trafficking and possession of methamphetamine. One of the ladies that died in the result of her selling heroin laced with fentanyl is this sweet young lady right here. Her name is Carson Emery. There was another lady that was in the room with her that was also deceased. And let me get her name, I'm sorry. It's Nicole Class Emery. Carson Emery. Where's the name for this Miss Fields? Is it Jackie Fields? Jackie Fields. Okay, I'm sorry, that's not on my notepad here. Mrs. Jackie Fields was also found in the room with Carson Emery. So let me kind of tighten this back up. This is the lady that sold the heroin, we think, to Mrs. Fields and to Mrs. Carson. We can prove it with Mrs. Carson. Not able to prove it with the other lady yet. This lady right here has been charged with selling heroin and manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter. Now, this is just a promise that we made to you guys earlier, that if you are going to sell these drugs and have them laced with fentanyl, that we're going to do everything in our power to charge you with this stuff. It's bad enough that people are selling drugs. I mean, that's kind of a given. It's bad enough. I hear it too, and after I do these ladies right here did have an addiction issue. It's not a death sentence. It's not supposed to be a death sentence. You know, you're supposed to be able to recover. You're supposed to be able to go through that spot in your life and come out on the other side, hopefully, and get yourself better and learn. But this fentanyl, Rusty Clevenger has told you, Coroner Clevenger has told you 1,000+ times, this is a very bad pandemic. And it's hitting Spartanburg in the South really hard. So I want you to know that I'm going to go ahead and put you all on notice. If you sell drugs, which hopefully I can catch you before you kill somebody, but you're going to be charged with whatever we can charge you with if you sell stuff, especially laced with fentanyl. I know that there's some people out there that are going, well, you're probably never going to catch me. You kind of better hope that we do catch you before we have to catch you and charge you with manslaughter. Like I said earlier in the conference here, it's bad enough that we are dealing with people selling illegal narcotics. Okay, I'm not opposed to narcotics. When the doctor gives you a prescription of pills, take them as you're supposed to, and then be done with them. And whatever, you know, because medicine's really not bad. It's the abuse of it that is really bad. I know that this young lady Carson right here will never be brought back because of a charge. I don't think this makes everything okay with the mom and everybody that loved her. But it is our way of speaking for her and saying that, you know, her life did matter even though she was an addict. And so for Mrs. Fields. And if we can charge this girl and can prove that this lady brought the drugs to both of these, we'll charge her with that one too. So I want the Fields family to know that we're still working really hard. It's harder for us to prove it than it is for us to know it. It's just the way it is. There's a lot of things we know, but there's a whole smaller number, a way smaller number than what we can actually prove in a court of law. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on notice that we're working these cases as much as we can. And we're going to speak for these victims. We are. Sometimes we're going to speak very loudly and very plainly, and sometimes we're just going to speak. But we are going to do our best that if you are caught selling anything with fentanyl in it or anything illegal, that we're going to do our very best to put you in jail. I'm not aggravated and mad at the addicts. You know, you can be addicted to food, you can be addicted to cigarettes, you can be addicted to Mountain Dews. I mean, there's a lot of things you can be addicted to. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you or upset, or I don't look down my nose at you for that. But there's help out here. There's help for you. I know the one thing that'll help us all, and you know, I always get these little dingers on Facebook and whatever, but his name's Jesus Christ. He's the only one that can really set you free from all this stuff. We can give you all these programs, but if you don't buy into it and clean yourself up, you know, we're just giving you ammunition, I guess. But we want you to know that. We want you to know that we still pray for you. We pray that somehow or another your life is changed by that. And if you were having an addiction issue, I mean, this young lady right here, prime of her life, I don't know how she got addicted to this stuff, don't care. But she was. You know, and now she's dead because somebody sold her something that was terrible. And that is absolutely a risk that you run when you buy stuff off the streets and you don't get it from a doctor. So I'm asking the addicts, if you are listening to this and you feel so moved and need some help, let's help you. We'll try. We'll try our best. But it really is on you. When you make up your mind that that's it, that's it. So I will do my best to answer questions if I can. There's some details in here that, you know, obviously are not to the forefront yet. Yes, sir?
Sure. From a general perspective, you mentioned that, you know, this is hitting Spartanburg really hard, the whole South really hard. But whether it's the investigation you ended in March, that was, you know, that larger operation where you 18 arrests, 63 charged, or something a little more honed in on a particular incident, what are you learning from all these investigations to sort of continue to hone in on these folks in this area and really take care of it like you just did? What are you learning to really try to put a stop to this?
Well, I'm learning that people that know about these folks that are addicted won't talk to us until something really bad happens. And if that happens, we're just going to play catch up all the time. That's what I've learned in all these investigations. Turn the people you love in. Turn them in. I mean, if we can, that might be the thing that changes them. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, except for what I told you is about Christ. But that's a personal choice thing. But I do know that a lot of people think we know about where all these drug houses are. You know, we are really good about getting out in the communities and helping and listening, but there's a lot of things that are unsaid that need to be said. So if you'll just please help us. Call our tip lines. Be patient with us. I really like it when you call us Monday and by Tuesday I can call and go, we got it. But it just don't work that way all the time. You know, some are harder, some are smarter. And when you got people in our system, I don't believe it's just the judges. I don't believe it's the police, just the police. I don't believe it's the whole system. They get out so fast, you know, and there's always something that lets them back on the streets and they didn't mean to or whatever. We got to do a little bit better as a society of going, we're done with this. We just got to fix it. And we got to start fixing it like yesterday. So that's one thing I've learned is people assume that we know stuff, you know, and we have a ton of other stuff going on that we have to address by law. But please help us. You know, give us those tips.
The accused, Brittany, you said that she's being charged with lacing heroin with fentanyl. Or do you know that she did that?
Don't know. All I know is that she delivered or sold the heroin that was laced with it.
Okay. So are you looking for the person who kind of manufactured that?
We're always doing that, yes. If we can get her to talk backwards, which I don't know if she will or not, I don't know. And she might not even know. But you know, we are trying our best to make sure that everybody that, we're not trying to just get people either. I mean, this is justice we're trying to serve. You know, you got two young ladies that are dead, and I'd like some answers for it. So
Have you been able to talk to the family?
I have spoke to Carson's mother, and she's, I can't even describe how hurt she is.
How, did she have a response to the fact that you actually at least got the person?
Yeah, she's very, very happy that somebody's going to be held accountable for this. But and she knows she didn't have her head stuck in the sand by no means. She understands that this was a bad thing that was going on with her daughter. Let me just tell you that there are a lot of people that get hooked on things that come back from war, and they're trying to self-medicate. And I think the PTSD thing is used a little bit too liberal. People that go to war and see things you're just really not supposed to see, they try to self-medicate with alcohol or whatever. And I want you veterans to know that I care about you a lot. I care about what you've done for me personally a lot. We'll help you. If you'll just let us, we'll help you. A lot of times when we got a lot of community talking about this stuff, it makes it more difficult for the dealers, and that's what we're looking to do. Yeah, but she's very appreciative that we're doing our best.
Was Brittany a multiple offender? Is this something she's been in trouble with in the past? The arrest with any cold cash?
She was arrested prior to us being able to charge her on an unrelated case dealing with drugs and methamphetamine. So yeah, I know of two anyway. So
how rare is this? Because every day I hear about the residual of. We
Right.
report the deaths, but then
Right.
we don't hear this. This seems to be kind of rare. And is this again? I remember back when you said we're going to go after the. And here we are. Is this something that other departments should be doing, or?
I think other departments are doing that. I do. I just don't know. It depends on the solicitor. It depends on every piece of evidence you have, and we just happen to have enough evidence to do it this time. But we're looking on every case. To be honest with you, I didn't think it was appropriate, and I thought it was a waste of our time, to be quite frank with you, and I'll admit that, of sending a narcotic out on every overdose. I did. I was like, come on. My captain and the lieutenant over narcotics said, boss, it's very well worth it. Just give us some time. And kind of really thankful that I didn't, overlook that. So I appreciate the team that we have together. They're going to stick with it. They're going to keep driving, and they're going to keep trying. And I don't know how many more, if any, that we'll arrest. But we arrested this one, and we're going to arrest everyone that we can. I don't think putting folks in jail and leaving them, I don't think that's the answer. The people that are dealing these drugs, there's money involved, there's a lot of things involved, so, we got to find a way to cut this off at its knees. So.
On that point, you mentioned that you wanted people to turn in their family members.
Yeah, love them enough to do that. That's what I'm asking.
Describe kind of the process that they'll face. What if somebody's concerned, I don't want you to lock my daughter, son, whoever up for months? What if a mom calls and turns her daughter in or son in, what will that individual face?
It depends on exactly what we catch them with, because just an accusation doesn't mean anything until we can prove it. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you don't want us to arrest your child, and I get it, a lot of moms don't. But I also know some moms that's called me and said, look, I'm thankful that my son's in jail, because now I know he's not out there smoking meth or crack or doing heroin, and he doesn't have an opportunity to have an overdose and die. I'd prefer to go see my son or my family member in jail as opposed to putting them in the ground. So that is really our only option. We don't have an option of going out there and giving them rehab right there on the spot and those kind of things. I wish we did, but if you call us, that's exactly what we intend to do. All right. Did you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask one more, the charges one more time for Brittany Nicole Cash. I know involuntary manslaughter.
All right. It's selling drugs, narcotics in Schedule 1, and LSD in Schedule 2 on the first offense. And we'll get all that to you in an email, so you'll have it to be able to read. So I very much appreciate your time. And I told you this was a little different press conference, because normally, like you said, we report these deaths, we report that these things are going on, but to actually be able to put, a face with this young lady right here. It's never going to bring her back. That's the sad part about it. But the good part about it is it serves notice to let you know that we are not just talking, we're working real hard. So proud of the team too. All right, thank you guys.